that have taken place very recently, which cannot be allowed to go without a comment. And therefore, we felt that you, our colleagues in the press, should be the ones to listen to what we're going to say. For you, a very important aspect of our community. Without you, Zambia will remain ignorant, uninformed, without knowledge. But you, according to your profession, you disseminate information, good and bad, because it's up to people themselves to judge what is right and what is wrong. So this morning, we felt that we should meet. So members and supporters of our civic association, our Civic Duty Association, OCIDA, who are present here, you, the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, I want to start by saying, we, members and supporters of our Civic Duty Association, OCIDA, have called this media briefing in order for us to set the record straight over the existence and standing of OCIDA in the Zambian society. During the launch of OCIDA in June 2020, the purposes and intentions of OCIDA were summarized very, very clearly in the following words, and I quote, "The overall objective of OCIDA is to promote and contribute to the good governance and sound management of our economy." So that summarizes what OCIDA stands for. It stands for good governance and sound management of our economy. Senior citizens and other ranks and file of Zambian citizens decided to form this platform because of the bad governance in the country, which was manifested by political violence and patriotic front PF cadres. There was so much impunity against law and order. Corruption was rampant, and mismanagement of huge amounts of money that was public funds, were abused by few leaders, and there were also other various vices that the previous government was doing. Under the new government, UPND government, there are many examples that demonstrate that much of the expectations of OCIDA have been met. Just in the first year of UPND government, we have witnessed an unprecedented recruitment of huge numbers of teachers, huge numbers of health workers, and huge numbers of other civil servants. There have also been recruitments taking place in the defense and security wings, such as Zambia Army, Zambia Air Force, National Service, and Zambia Correction Services, and of course, Zambia Police, not to mention immigration. These recruitments have now become annual exercises, thereby reducing levels of unemployment in the country, but also, most importantly, ensuring that service to the people is rendered correctly with adequate service staff. We've also experienced the redistribution and management of the national resources in the constituencies through the Constituency Development Fund, popularly known as CDF. Whereas in the past, the CDF was erratic, with a very small amount of 1.6 million per constituency. Today, each constituency is getting 30.6 million. And this money is given without discrimination and without looking at the political leanings of the MP. Ladies and gentlemen, we, the members and supporters of OCIDA, are therefore greatly disappointed to see that some citizens are using the name of the organization and abusing the name of His Grace Emeritus, Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu, for their selfish political motives. As this has been going on for quite some time now, we would like to take some steps to bring to an end this circus. We therefore wish to respectively request Emeritus Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu to consider retiring from the leadership of OCIDA. He has played his part, which we appreciate very much. It's now time to pass on mantle. We would like to take this opportunity to call upon the leadership of the Catholic Church in Zambia to protect the name and integrity of the Emeritus Archbishop Mpundu from abuse by some opportunistic individuals. Over the last few months, statements have been issued in the name of OCIDA, and these statements have not been agreed upon by the members and not even sanctioned by the trustees, who are the legal custodians of the organization. By the way, for your information, OCIDA is owned by trustees. And the original trustees were as follows. The late Simon Zukas, who chaired the organization, is late. Archbishop Emeritus Mpundu, Yusuf Patel, Leslie Mbula, Sketchy Sachika, Baptiste Kapulu, Ompi Kumbula, and Lily Monzi. Now, because of these happenings, the following people resigned. Sketchy Sachika could not tolerate the abuse that OCIDA was being put through. He resigned. Baptiste Kapulu did the same. Ompi Kumbula also did the same, as did Lily Monzi. But I felt that resigning would not help the organization. I stayed on together with Mr. Yusuf Patel. We stayed on because we needed to control any excesses by some who are trying to hijack OCIDA. Hence, my presence here. Now, as OCIDA, ladies and gentlemen, today, as I speak, we are shocked that some members, without agreement of the association, have written a letter to the American embassy, a foreign government, under the guise of Bishop, asking the American government to impose financial sanctions, visa restrictions, and restrictions on travelers against some top government officials. Not long ago, a statement was issued that government had promised, that UPN had promised the country the moon, and not even the earth has been delivered. But nothing fell from it, because a lot has been delivered. So in order to bring sanity and order in our organization, we are requesting one member of OCIDA by the name of Brebna Changala to cease being a member of this noble organization. His actions in the recent months are tantamount to hijacking the organization and dissuading it from the mission from which it was formed. OCIDA has a duty to continually remind successful governments of their commitment to the people of this country. However, this should be done in an orderly manner. It is therefore regrettable that our fellow member of OCIDA, Brebna Changala, does not appreciate that for effective and efficient operations, an organization like OCIDA, order is of utmost importance. As for now, we wish to announce that Mr. Brebna Changala has failed to live up to the expectations of OCIDA, and therefore his membership in this noble organization remains untenable. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the supporters and members of OCIDA, we want to put it on record that we do not share in the extremist and partisan position taken by Mr. Changala on the state of our governance and democracy. As citizens of this country, we can all attest to the facts. So, we can attest to the peace and greater freedoms we are enjoying now than 2 or 3 years ago. Zambia today is seen as a bastion of democracy. This has been noted by credible institutions like the varieties of democracy, VDEM. In their 2024 reports, they stated that, like many other countries, Zambia may be faced with some challenges. But in our case, most of these challenges were created by the very, very, very people who are criticizing this government. You know, to destroy takes a short time, but to build takes a lot of time. And when you are building, there must be some patience. But of course, as OCIDA, we look at government officials, including ministers and the president, as people that will serve this country. And any mistake they make, we want to bring it out. And bringing out those mistakes, we have to find solutions. Ours to advise the government so that they can go about things the right way. When they make a mistake, we must point it out. Because we don't want them to live in a comfort zone. That is the role of OCIDA. And not to destroy the government so that we can take over. We are not a political party. No. And therefore, this must be that as an organization, ours is to ensure that good governance is effective. And that to do so, we are oversight institution to help. But it does not help just to give blanket criticism without being pointed. Unless you want this government to fail so that we can take over. That is not our intention. Our intention is to make sure that this government governs our people properly. I'm sure we can all attest to the peace and greater freedoms which we are enjoying now than 2 or 3 years ago. Zambia today, as I earlier said, is seen as a bastion of democracy, as noted by VD. But in terms of governance, we are headed in the right direction. As a people, we must expend more our energies in supporting the government of the day to find solutions to challenges the country is facing. In many years, Zambia has been faced with drought. But the drought that we are facing this time is calamitous. And that's why the president has declared a state of emergency. In doing so, he wants to bring to the attention of the people of Zambia that their lifestyles must be adjusted to what is expected. And that he himself is not sitting idle down. He is getting in touch, I'm talking about the president, getting in touch with various aid organizations so that Zambian people will not suffer from starvation. The vision that the president has is one that we must also try to encourage instead of discourage. Now, the declaration of a state of emergency means that as Zambians, we must prepare ourselves for the hunger that is happening. As governments, they are mobilizing whatever resources they have. As government, they are trying to harvest as much water as possible for future use in times of drought. And the president has announced that because of this state of emergency which he has declared as a disaster, he has therefore instructed limitations on travel, both outside the country and within the country, so that we can save whatever little resources we have to help our people get fed and avoid them dying from hunger. He has also said, no expensive cars shall be bought. Also, to ensure that we conserve whatever resources we have for use by our people. Ladies and gentlemen, in my view, and in the view of OCIDA and its supporters, we believe that the government is doing very well. But of course, we can't leave them on the comfort zone. We have to remind them wherever they go. So we decided that we share our feelings on this matter because it's of significance to our country. I thank you. Don't be shy to clap for me.
Coming from government background himself, as former secretary to cabinet, he's bound to talk more about government and so on. But I think you know that the main reason why we're here is to diffuse the fact that the letters or whatever has been happening, which have been pointing to OCIDA, is not actually OCIDA. I think that should come out very clearly. And he also mentioned that OCIDA is owned by trustees. There's another level of OCIDA where some of us belong. There's a management committee that has been steering OCIDA, which is headed by Hubert Temba, who unfortunately can't be here, of which I happen to be the executive secretary. And so, as management committee, we've also been taken aback when we see that there are people that are representing us without our knowledge. In the past, when we were just beginning, and when our late founding chairperson, Mr. Zukas, was still alive, there was a lot of consultation. Whenever he was about to make a statement, it was a statement that came from OCIDA. But these statements that are flying around now are not OCIDA. So we disown them because we are not party to those statements. So I think he has made it clear that the letter that has been, which most of us have read, which has been sent to the American embassy, is not OCIDA letter. And unfortunately, like he's put it, we feel that the Archbishop is just being used. So we fear, that's why he has really requested the Catholic Church, which happens to be my church, and I feel very unhappy that my Archbishop is being used. Because he sounds like a different Archbishop Mpundu that supported OCIDA in a manner that was deemed fit by OCIDA. If you remember, as media, that it is the same Archbishop Mpundu that held that press conference at Kapengela House when our current president was incarcerated. But today he behaves like he's a political party leader that is about to overthrow government. So it's very unfair that people should use the Archbishop. We really, I want to echo what the trustee, Ambassador Mula, said, that let's appeal to the, as OCIDA, we are appealing to the Catholic Church leadership to help our retired Archbishop, because he's being abused. To me, it doesn't sound like he's real in those statements. Those statements are not his. I fear that he might just be given documentation to sign, which for me is very dangerous. What else can they do to you? So I just wanted to add on that as OCIDA, that summary we had is us. Good governance and good management of our economy, and that's what we stood for. Even in the past regime when we started during the PF government, ours was simply to see checks and balances. Today, what we are supposed to be doing actually is to go down to the wards and see how the constituency development fund is being disbursed. We believe as OCIDA in the rights-based approach. We want everything to be done correctly. But if we are now going to be disturbed as OCIDA by statements that don't sound and resemble, and we are not synonymous with, we feel that it's not fair. I think that's why we came, and we are glad that you came in good numbers so that you could listen to us. And what we are telling you is coming from the genuine OCIDA. For Brebna Changala that the trustee has alluded to, we saw him in the last, maybe the beginning of, if I'm not mistaken, the beginning of the New Dawn government. He started hovering around the OCIDA Secretariat and talking about how friendly he was with the president and how friendly he was with the former president. He didn't bring value to OCIDA. One day, as I watched television, I was shocked to hear Changala pronounce that as OCIDA. So I was saying, which OCIDA does he belong to? Because I don't know when he assumed membership. I got my phone and called Simon Kawanda, my predecessor, because Simon was the bona fide secretary for OCIDA as we started. But when he was appointed as commissioner on one of the commissions, I think police, or whatever, he ceased to be a secretary for OCIDA, but the trustees felt that in his shoes I could step. So I called him because I thought maybe in his handover he did not mention that Brebna Changala was a member. We never traced his name. He comes as OCIDA in most platforms. He comes as OCIDA. We don't know where he gets his power from. And even the letter that was written to the American embassy, as OCIDA we should have sat. Like I said earlier on, we used to consult a lot. We are very saddened that now OCIDA has become a one-man show. OCIDA is not meant to be the devil that people think we are. It's a very, very straight organization, and it was started with like-minded people. When things were going bad, we thought would engage the government then, and we tried our best. And when we saw things were not going well, we tried our best. Even in this current government, I think the team of trustees have been to State House to try and point out certain things that they thought were not okay. But that was not, we didn't expect that would come out, OCIDA would come out the way it has come. We want to disown whatever statements are going to be made by Archbishop Mpundu and his cohort, Brebna Changala. I just wanted to make things straight. Any questions? If you have questions for, yes, what we'll do is we'll take note of the questions, Maybe you ask.
Yes.
My name is Nelson Zulu from Kalemba TV. I would like to find out if at all OCIDA is also conducted some sort of investigations to clearly indicate or bring to the public who exactly is being involved or spearheading these talks that have infiltrated the public. For instance, you've disowned the sanctions that were being called for to the U.S. Embassy. But who exactly is behind them? Thank you.
Yes.
Another question? Yes.
Pastor, did you try to engage Archbishop before coming in? What is the issue? And again, we asking us that you appear that you are facing offenses. To come public and before resolving what are teaching, what are you can from you?
What can you?
What are teaching from you? Who went to the youth can learn from you?
What can you learn from us?
Oh, I see.
If we just come to appear in public without engaging each other, that's what you say.
Yes.
That's what you say.
Yes.
Another one, you take three and then I can't see. Yes, there's one.
My name is Kalemba. I have two questions. One, there is a rumor that Mr. Shangala wanted a line mine.
Wanted a what?
A line mine.
Yes.
Owned by some Italian. And apparently, using your association, but it wasn't given to him. Means the bitterness that is going on around. Apart from that, I wanted to get if you taken any legal action, because I think this is the very first time that you are coming to the public to denounce a number of statements of which were attributed to Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu, which were never denounced, but today you've come into light and of course denouncing them. And I wanted to find out if maybe any legal action has been taken with regards to that, especially that this is sedition.
Thank you. I'll ask the first question.
Who is behind this? There are only two people that we have heard talking about OCIDA publicly. And these are, apart from the Archbishop Mpundu, Rebna Changala has also been very vocal about what OCIDA does when in actual fact not. So we are really not sure who is behind this, but we can only suspect that. That's why I called Changala a cohort of the Archbishop. I think you heard me. We can only suspect that maybe the two that are found speaking about this thing in public, we can only suspect that they are working together. But we can't really rule out that there could be invisible forces behind it. Because like I said, we have found the Archbishop rather strange. He's been, well, I don't know whether he's strange because of age also, because you know age sometimes can make you inconsistent. Yeah, it does. I'm feeling it myself. Yeah, so I don't know. We are not here to judge him, but definitely there's something wrong with him. There's something that is happening which is not his alone. He must have some force behind him. We are yet to find, and it's good that you're asking us such questions, because now we'll speed up our investigations to find out exactly who he's working with. I think this is also related to your question, that how come that you are coming now, and also the coming now is going to answer. But also that, why did you consult as senior citizens before you came public? You see, when you start public, it must be counted public. Of what consequence was our private meeting going to be when that man went to do it publicly and alone? And this time, it definitely is going to answer, but this time it has gone too far. Enough is enough. It's too much. We have cautioned as OCIDA. Each time he makes a statement, can we please sit together and you find him going wild. We have done that on a number of occasions, but you find him going wild. But this time, even going out of our own domain and writing to a foreign country and reporting his fellow citizens, don't you think that that is too much? Where was Archbishop Mpundu when people were being persecuted in the last regime and he never wrote to any embassy? Why now? You see? Because now it's getting too much. And that's why we said as OCIDA, let's go and talk about it. Using the same forum that he used. Because he has never come to us to consult. He just goes wild and he talks about anything that comes to his lips.
Thank you. Second question, what can youth learn from this? And we engaged the Archbishop. The Archbishop has made a number of statements. And at meetings, as OCIDA, we have drawn his attention to the lack of consultations before making a statement. I refer to one statement where I said, UPNHH promised the moon, he has not even delivered the earth. I tackled, in a meeting, not public, I tackled him on that. I also tackled him on several other issues, but there doesn't seem to be any results. Now, what he has done by writing to a foreign government to report his own people here, that is crossing the red line. And that's why we've gone public. We have been trying to sort this thing out as a family. In fact, one time Mr. Brevna Changala made a statement that OCIDA has been divided. One side is headed by Bishop Mpundu, the other one by Leslie Mbula. That's not the truth. We are one. But all we are trying to do is try and correct so that we do things the right way, the orderly way. Clearly, we cannot teach youths from this kind of action. And that's why we've come out in the open to say it is wrong. So don't emulate it, our dear youths. The last question, I think the statement, I'm not privy, that was denied a license to do some line mining, and therefore bitterness. I think I'll just take note of that as a statement.
Any more questions? Yes?
Thank you so much. I'm Blessings from Crown TV.
Blessings from Crown TV.
No, from Crown TV.
Crown.
Yes.
Oh, Crown.
Yes. I want you did indicate about Mr. Brevna Changala. He's in public representing OCIDA. Then when the United Party Alliance was being announced, he was also there. I want to hear your position on that.
Okay, thank you so much. I know some of you may have been surprised to see me here. I know that I expected a question in that line. Let me make it very clear that I'm here. You know, OCIDA, before I answer the question from the brother from Crown TV, OCIDA actually is held in trust by the senior trustees. Then in between trustees, there is an executive committee, steering committee. That is where I belong. And the brief background I'll give you so that you understand why I'm here myself. OCIDA is a non-governmental organization, and its objective are very clear. We are non-political. We are not a political party. Therefore, we can't be found at a platform where politicians are launching whatever alliance is there. That's not OCIDA. That's not even our objective. So that partly answers the question, isn't it? So, what the trustee has said, what our executive secretary said, is exactly our position. We are here to ensure that there is good governance, there is prudent management of public resources, there is accountability and transparency. We demand these things from those in authority. You heard OCIDA was registered in 2020 during the Patriotic Front type government. OCIDA is here today. And OCIDA will outlive even other political parties in government. Our role is very simple. I know some of you are saying, why are you talking now? Do you know that we've been talking even in the background? We've been talking. We've been talking in the background. The only thing that we don't go public so easily, we believe in resolving our issues in-house. But if our colleagues can't understand, then we will go public as well. And this is maybe probably the first public hearing you are seeing from us. So let me give you an example. If we, for example, OCIDA is seen to take sides, we are here to tell you that we are not going to take sides. Even in this government, we have started questioning certain things that are happening. As I said, we are not public. Me, my role in the executive steering committee, our first secretary was Simon Kabanda. Then after he left, there came my elder sister here. She's the current executive secretary of OCIDA. So our chairperson, yes, is Mr. Telesphore Mpundu. We know that one. But what he's doing is what we haven't agreed. In the past, OCIDA was very simple. We, the executive steering committee, we are the ones who have a responsibility to carry out day-to-day administrative function of this OCIDA. So we are in the background. Okay? That's how it operates. So whenever there are issues, we, the executive committee, we go out there, investigate, and give the chairperson what to say to the public. That's how it runs, Steve. That's how it runs. During the time of Simon Zukas, that's what used to happen. Whenever there are national issues, we meet as a group, discuss issues on the table, and agree and give this chairperson what to say to the media, to the public. That's how we see that. Those are the rules that we set and do ourselves. You heard the trustee say some of the trustees have resigned. We haven't replaced it yet. Trustee, have we replaced it? So we are still putting our house in order. Apart from the steering committee that you have seen here, some of our members have resigned, that I'll mention to you. We had Mr. Gilbert Temba, who is still there, but she said he can't be here. We had Bob Stinger. Bob Stinger resigned from the executive committee. Sherry Tolle also was there. These were the founder members of CIDA. Sherry Tolle was there. If you want, you are a journalist. Go and interview Bob Stinger, Sherry Tolle. They'll tell you how CIDA was structured. Out of all of these people, we had my sister here, myself as Peter Mwale, Kenny Ozelete, Kenny Osakala, and also Kenny Omichel. Out of this steering executive committee, maybe there's only 2 of us remaining. Others have also resigned. So you can see we are having a challenge. So we are trying to put our house in order. First of all, we have to replace the trustees. We have to replace the other office bearers. So we are a skeleton. So when we see those statements are coming, first of all, why got statements when our house is not in order? We need to find the other trustees. Because OCIDA is held in the trust. So we are saying those statements have no blessing. Because at no point do you agree that any of us will issue statement. Yes, we can issue statement. We have been engaging government, we have been engaging other stakeholders. Even right now, that's why we've engaged you here. We are the bona fide members of OCIDA. And I repeat, Mr. Bremna Changala has never been a member. I've told you, trustees are there, the trustee mentioned the names. executive members were here. That's how OCIDA is governed. Trustees and ourselves. That's how. So now, I've told you the members can go and conduct a search. How is this? You will find that the name of Mr. Changara is not even there. So this is what we're talking about. Bishop Mpundu, yes, was the vice chairman too, the late Zukas. And when the late Zukas died, he took over. Just like when Kawanda left, she took over. That's what we are saying. But as regards to statements, trust us, give us a bit of time, let's put our house in order. Then you will see us coming out, the trustees. Yusuf Bate was supposed to be here, I don't know why. They are the only two of them who are remaining on trustee level. And these are the ones that want to see. Ourselves also need to get people to get into a steering committee of the executive. So those are the issues, ladies and gentlemen. So to answer your question, my dear friend, I can tell you the truth. OCIDA is here to ensure that there's accountability. It doesn't matter whether it's CPND government, it's PF government, or other government thereafter. OCIDA is bigger than all of us. We will be there. What we want is accountability, transparency, and prudent management of public resources. That's what we want, and we stand for that. Thank you so much.
And we also instructed our steering committee to write a letter to the American Embassy. And the letter reads as follows. Mr. Michael Gonzalez, U.S. Ambassador to Zambia. Dear Sir, purported petition by our Civic Duty Association against President Hakainde Hichilema and other top government officials. Refer to the subject matter above. We have been made aware of a letter dated 8th March 2024, purportedly written for and on behalf of our Civic Duty Association and signed by Emeritus Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu. Paragraph. Kindly note that our Civic Duty Association is a non-partisan organization registered as a civil society organization with established procedures of its operations. Note that all decisions of the organization are made in consultation with the members and the trustees who are the custodians of the organization. The views in the petition underlined do not in any way represent the position of our Civic Duty Association, OCIDA, and should therefore be disregarded as such. Signed, this committee of ours, instructed, signed, Professor Oliver Sasa, Mr. Kelvin Ndila, Dr. Kelvin Malama, Colonel Yusuf Mchero, Ms. Eulalia Zulu, Mr. Peter Mwale, and Mr. Daniel Simumba. This is the letter that has gone to the American Embassy.
There was a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
My question is on your position Mr. Changara. You indicated that she's not a member or an executive member of the city. His affiliation with someone is not the police of state, precisely calling himself a member. But for some time now he has been issuing statements on behalf of OCIDA. So my question is, in which capacity is he issuing those statements? And why have you not questioned him to desist from issuing that notification. Because with a person like myself, if it's not reprimanded by yourselves, we consider him as part of OCIDA. And if he says whatever he says, if OCIDA says that happened, and your silence, to some extent, is like you are consent to whatever he says. So what action are you going to take besides asking to resign? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, now that's a very good question. As I said, OCIDA has got rules and regulations for procedures how we deal with issues. I've told you already that Mr. President Natangala has never been a member of OCIDA at any time. If he was, then I don't know who made it, because you have given me all the members. Now, the question is that what have we done ourselves? What are we going to do about it? You see, when someone is not your member, it's very difficult for you to sanction because only bona fide members are sanctioned. What we can say now is that maybe we can assume that maybe he's putting himself as a member, but we are saying if he's a member, then we expected him to come and conduct himself in the manner in which OCIDA is supposed to conduct itself. So as to what we are doing about it, and we have been quiet because we are watching and it's like we are allowing what he's doing. No, we are not allowing what he's doing. That's what we have said it here. We will not allow it as a way forward. We thought maybe we are the, in-house engagements, as we said earlier. Now it appears our colleagues, they don't seem to understand. That's the reason why we have come here. So what we are saying now, what are we going to do about it? We have told him to stay away from OCIDA. That's what we have done. We have said, no, I think enough is enough. Let him stay away from OCIDA. Let OCIDA put his house in order. First of all, then thereafter, we will inform you, the members of the public, how we are going to proceed thereafter. At the moment, we don't think that whatever I say represents what we believe in as OCIDA. In OCIDA, we believe in consultation. Whatever subject matter we want to take, we consult each other. We consult as a steering committee, we consult our trustees, and if we feel that this should be taken to the public, then our chairperson issues that statement or the executive secretary. So that's what we have done so far. So this meeting here is very clear. We are appealing to our colleagues, Mr. Changala, and probably of course, I'm smaller, but the trustee has already said it in terms of the emeritus bishop. I can't comment on that one, but the trustee is here. But for Mr. Changala, I can comment because I'm a member of the committee whose responsibilities day-to-day administrative function of OCIDA. We are the ones who feed the chairman, we are the ones who feed the trustees. So that's what we are saying. Thank you so much.
Yes.
No, just to clarify, yes, it's a very pertinent question that you've asked. Why haven't we taken action? We have held meetings at OCIDA, and this matter has been pointed out. That when you have a chairman, you repose whatever you say, the chairman. And if you are doing a good job for the chairman, it becomes a little bit difficult to take action. As for now, I think.
Yes.
My name is Augustine from Zambia Manager. I just wanted to follow up with this question. You're asking a person who is a non-member of an organization to resign or stay away from your activities. Masquerading in this country is a very serious offense. All this time, why haven't you taken him to the police for report so that he's answerable for every statement that he has issued? That's one. You're asking the Archbishop to retire. Isn't there a procedure in OCIDA in the manner in which a chairperson can resign and you can blame that person? Thank you.
Thank you. It's even very difficult for me to start, but we have heard from his statement, so many trustees have resigned. We heard from the member of the management team that so many team members of our management team have resigned, all because of the poor style of leadership. Why do I say that? Through So since Zukas died, we have experienced as executive team, we have experienced a lot of difficulties where we sit together. I remember the last time that we sat and we worked out the points that the chairperson was going to bring out to the public. That was after complaining that OCIDA was not given a platform by the powers that be to express itself as OCIDA, to try and advise. So the trustees felt maybe they should then go public. But in no time, State House had space for them. So they went to State House as our bosses and they expressed themselves. We believed. Immediately they came out of State House. Statements started flying out, which we thought as management was very, very regrettable. What they should have done was come back to the same table, which table enlisted the chairperson to go and say things to the public. So you can see that the confusion starts with the management, the style of leadership. Because if a leader does not want to come back, because when you are a leader, you are a servant of those many. Every organization is a pyramid. If you are at the apex of the pyramid, there are people that are there at the bottom that you need to listen to. Because whatever you are going to say is representative of what those people who have sent you to serve them have said. But we started seeing, and that's how immediately after those flying statements, I call them flying because they were never constructed at a table. People just woke up and said whatever they did. Quite a number of trustees rendered in their resignations. They felt they could not be party to what was going on. And quite a number of our team also felt they didn't think that the OCIDA that they joined was the OCIDA that was portraying itself through its leadership. So probably I could say that. Then suddenly we saw Brebna Changala, who was very close, who is a very close friend to our leader, our director as management, Mr. Gilbert Temi. We saw him frequenting the secretariat. After that, we heard him go out and talk about OCIDA. So even his coming in, we don't know. Because we don't have, like he said, we don't have him in our records. And it's also good that he said, how do you reprimand somebody who is not a member? It's also difficult because it does not come in our code of ethics as OCIDA. So it's very difficult, and it's the type of a person you tell him this is not supposed to be like this. You go out, you're not OCIDA. You can't represent OCIDA. So we really don't know. That's how he finds himself at UCA meeting, because he doesn't understand what OCIDA stands for. I can't find myself at an UCA meeting because we are told in no uncertain terms, if they find me in a political party meeting, then I cease to be a member. I think that's what comes out of this. So we can be members as individuals, but we can't take up leadership roles in the political parties, because everybody belongs to a party. Even you have your own affiliations, but those are private. I just wanted to.
Any other questions?
So my name is Wiche Naluga.
What's the name again?
Wiche Naluga from News Ticket. What we're getting from this is that earlier you stated that the people that wrote that statement is not per se Archbishop, it was written for him. And we also heard you state that there are forces behind that write-up. And in her statement right now, she's saying that we've seen Mr. Changala going there and also being found at the OCA meetings. So my question really is, are you suggesting in any way that the people that are pushing for these writings are OCA leaders? And also, my other question is, since you're stating that you don't agree with the letter that was written, are you also suggesting that whatever was written in that letter is not true? Are you saying that the UPND government has done everything right? Because you said OCIDA is an organization that wants to see good governance. So I would like to take your positions on those two.
Maybe start with what I said. Okay. Maybe I'll start with what was alluded to me. I think there's a question that came from the floor that do you think that there are forces behind what the Archbishop is doing? I said, yes, there could be. We are suspicious because Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu is a different Archbishop today. Is a different Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu of that time when we started with him, when he was working with Zukas as his chairperson. Immediately became chairperson, he was okay, but thereafter, he started changing. We don't expect Archbishop Mpundu, who understands what OCIDA stands for, to come out the way he does. Because we are not supposed to come out like we are a political party. I think that's what both of us said. We are not fighting a political party in order for us to go in, because we are not a political party. If anything, we are just a civil society organization. So I think that's what made me say that, so that I can clear that, so that then the other one that
she's saying are there no wrongs being done?
No, that was the last one. But following this one, you said, what else did you say apart from what I've just?
I was asking if you were suggesting in any way that OCA leaders were behind the executive forces.
No.
Then you also mentioned that you've seen Mr. Changala coming to see the audience, later the weekend, what it's also community. So that's what prompted me to ask. Suggested in any way that the OCA leaders were among the people. That's what we should.
Okay, let me separate the two. Hovering around the OCIDA office is one thing, because that's what we saw in him. After that, we heard him talk to the public. That is one. Before he was given the right to do it. UCA meeting, I think you mentioned, that he was seen at UCA meeting, that we as OCIDA members or affiliates, we are not supposed to. That's we can support UCA privately, but we cannot be seen to be part of the gatherings that are going to inaugurate or whatever he was doing. So I think that is how it comes in. We did not send him. If he went there as OCIDA, because somebody has said he went to UCA and he was representing OCIDA. We are saying no, he was not representing OCIDA. OCIDA is not a partisan organization. We just wanted to be clear that he went there in his own right, and the fact that he is not a member, at least he's not a member of the management team that we belong to, that the two of us belong to. Yes. He's going to take that.
I think I said very clearly that even within the ranks of UPND, the civil servants, the commissioners, the politicians, some of them some of them, a few of them, still have that hangover from PF. So it can't be, we can't say they're all clean. No, there are some who are still not clean. But our point is, let us not make it, what do you call it? Overall. We must specify. We must be specific and say, here and there, this should be done. And not just say, you promised the moon, not even the earth has been delivered. No, all of them must be the governance. The democratic space has shrunk. From which side to which side? Democratic space shrinking. And European agenda. But we don't have angels in European. There are some bad elements. And those are the ones we should be targeting. But overall, the performance should be praised. But we don't want them to be in the comfort zone. We should continue criticizing where criticism is due, and not this kind of blanket criticism.
I've been warned that we are only, so we have 10 minutes left, so I'll get that one, then you are number 2. Another hand that I won't see, I think you are the 2.
My last question is, my name is Kalemba. My last question is, you said to say you don't agree with the style of leadership in the current OCIDA, citing to say, calling for the resignation of Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu and now denouncing the membership of President Changala. Prior to the elections in 2021, you heavily criticized the PF, and Mr. Changala was one of them that heavily criticized, and you never denounced it. So now, when you talk about the style of leadership currently, is it because the main speakers of OCIDA now seem to be against this government? That's why you're saying to say maybe they should resign, and then now you're denouncing President Changala. Thank you very much.
Not at all. I think when I talked about the leadership style and the mass resignations, was the fact that we're not consulted enough. Whatever we said, they've really made it very difficult for OCIDA to work. That's why many people have resigned. Today, we have a very big job. All these funds that are being disbursed by government, we should have been there, we should have been to those villages to check and balance up what is going on. But we can't. We are a skeleton, a group. I think you have heard that one. We are crippled. People have gone. And when you ask them, it's very similar answer. They are not happy with what is going on because we are just saying things. Some of the things that have been said maybe could have come from OCIDA had we sat together. But what we don't like is a single person just goes out to go and talk about certain things. In PF, like I said, you said during PF you came out and we were talking and we never condemned. How do you know? Maybe that statement had a consensus. You see? So, but now it's not everything that Archbishop Mpundu says that might not have a merit. But we are saying the way he does things, he just stands up and goes to speak. Sometimes you switch on your TV and Archbishop Mpundu is there talking. And he's talking about OCIDA. Which OCIDA? Because he hasn't consulted. I think that's the leadership style that we heard our colleagues and our bosses that resigned mention. In PF, we were working together. Remember, it was the same Archbishop Mpundu who were at Kapingila House when the current president was incarcerated. Some of you attended that meeting. He had the blessings of OCIDA. We didn't condemn him because we sat together and said, let's join the teams that are supporting that incarceration because the people of Zambia also look at it the way we look at it. We can't just pick one out. There is one more thing.
My question is, my next last point is this a wake-up call to this organization? After seeing that there is a lot of work in this organization, that's so, what is the next direction taking in order to succeed happen? Because you are saying that you are an organization that is not a good age code, and so that is more for is in among the leaders who are affiliated to political and ambition to make or turn this, let's say, into good.
I know we have only a few minutes to go, so I will take that question. When you say we are, is it a wake-up call? Yes, it is. It is a wake-up call for us. And the biggest challenge that we have seen, we need to put our house in order. So yes, it is a wake-up call for us. And also, just to stress this point, I want to mention here that Mr. Changala and many others, there are so many people that were invited to come and join OCIDA. The likes of Mr. Sambo, I can tell you, Linda, there are a lot of citizens that we mobilized at the time. And whatever we are doing that time was agreed upon. Perhaps what is different, why you are having a challenge with journalists to understand that time we spoke as one. That's the biggest problem. This time we're not speaking as one. That time, whatever statement you are seeing from OCIDA when it was the PFN government, we had to sit down and agree. There are these issues that are happening, for example, like political violence. We would sit, all of us, and discuss and issue a communique through our chairperson. Now, that is not happening. That is where the problem is. So to agree with your question, yes, this is a wake-up call. And from now onward, that's why we're appealing to our colleagues that let us sit down together, put our house in order, have all office barriers in place. Then from there now, begin to address issues. I heard my sister there saying, does it mean that in this government, there are no wrong things? The wrong things are there. Okay, we'll tell you, wrong things are there. But it is a way in which we communicate and point out those wrong things. That's what we are doing. As I said, OCIDA has got a process and a procedure. Wrong things are there. And as I said earlier on, as OCIDA, we will not watch public resources being abused. Why? Because it is within our mandate to question government. Okay? So, make no mistake. Yes, we can sit here, we can have different political affiliations. That's, you remember the Constitution of Zambia guarantees freedom of association and assembly. So if someone goes to OCIDA, to a political party alone, that's okay. What we don't want is the organization itself to be mentioned there. We will not see us at a political party of UPND. No, we can't go there. We can't go there even at MMD. No, we can't go there. OCIDA doesn't allow that. That's what you are saying. So as whether the UPND government is doing the right thing or not, well, we'll continue talking. When we see things are done wrong, we have got a channel within which we can communicate with those government. If it means talking, we'll talk that time. That's what you are saying. Thank you so much. And I remember my brother there before I see, you said this is an offense, where someone is masquerading. You remember? Now you said, why can't you report that person to the police? As I said, OCIDA, we have got a channel in which we do things. This is part of the process now. We have made an honest appeal that if this continues now, we'll be left with no choice now. We will now take appropriate action. We are very systematic and very procedural as OCIDA. That's why we are here today to complain that no, these things are not supposed to happen like that. Yes, we know Mr. Changara might have behaved like that, but we feel that he's a very good citizen and he can come to his senses, and if he wants, let him come and sit down with us and ask us where our problems are, because we understand. But us going to the police to report. Yes, we can do that, but not now. We believe in systems and procedures. We have spoken here. I'm sure he's going to hear about it. And I believe some of you from here are going to go and interview him and ask him about this. We are saying we want order in OCIDA, we want the process to be followed and to be done systematically and ordered manner. That's what we are saying. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sure we are done. Thank you very much. Actually, from your questions, you are giving us answers and a strategy of how we can bring back the OCIDA that we want. Thank you very much.
The national anthem. One land and one nation is our pride. Dignity